already filmed this video once, but I forgot like my whole entire TBR, so we're gonna try again. Also, I'm sorry if there's like loud bird noises and outdoor noises. I'm filming in my car today because that's just what has to happen for these videos to get filmed, and I can't really control the outside noise. My window's open because it's hot. It's a thing. I'm sorry. Hopefully it's all right. Hey, hi, hello. Welcome to my channel. This is Books Past Bedtime. My name is Jess. Thank you for being here. Today we are going to be doing my May TBR. I have a lot of books that I'm going to be talking about. I feel like it's like 28 or 29, which is insane because I have not read more than like 10 books a month this year. But my theory is that if I like set a higher expectation for myself, I will end up reading more than if I set a more reasonable expectation for myself, because the past couple months I've been trying to set a reasonable expectation for myself and it has not helped me read anymore. So we're gonna do the opposite and see what happens, you know. I'm definitely probably not gonna read all of these books, but I am in the mood to try my darndest. So hopefully it'll turn out better than worse. I don't know. We'll find out. So basically, let's just jump in. The first thing I'm going to talk about is my Tarot Card TBR, which I am still doing. I do this every month. I just am going to lay out a spread of 6 cards, and whichever cards I draw, I have a prompt for every single card in the tarot deck. And so whichever cards I draw, I have to pick a book to fit that prompt. I really need to start remembering to talk about how many of these I actually read in my following month wrap up. So somebody tell me to do that next month. But the first card I drew was the 10 of Swords. This card can represent like betrayal, somebody turning on you, stabbing you in the back, that kind of thing. So my prompt for this card is to read a book featuring a betrayal. And for that, I'm going to read Ace of Spades. This is a YA Gossip Girl-esque thriller. It is set at this like exclusive elite private boarding school. And at this school, an anonymous classmate starts exposing secrets about 2 of their fellow classmates, and it gets messy, I think. This book also is like a commentary on institutionalized racism. So there's a lot of stuff going on in this book. It sounds amazing, and I've heard really good things about it. It's not out yet. It comes out next month in June. I think I have it on NetGalley though, so that is why this month is all about getting to my NetGalley arcs that I have been abandoning. So hopefully this one gets read. It sounds really cool, and I'm very excited to pick it up. The next card I drew is the Wheel of Fortune. This is one of the most positive cards in the deck and basically just means like fortune is coming your way. And my prompt for this card is to read a book featuring a character who has a turning point. I feel like this could be really any book because I think the purpose of a book is for something to happen to a character and that character to grow and change, you know. But the specific book I'm going to read for this is The Cost of Knowing by Brittany Morris. And in this book, our main character Alex can like see into the future, and one day he sees his younger brother's imminent death, and this is really a turning point for him, and his life is turned completely upside down. He has to figure out what he's going to do, if he can stop this from happening at all, or what the future is going to bring. This is another one I have on NetGalley. It just recently came out, I think in April, so I'm very excited to pick this one up as well. The next card I drew was the Lovers. This is also a very positive card to draw in the deck, and it basically just means like love is coming your way, you know. Self-explanatory. And so the prompt for that card is to read a romance, and for that I'm going to read It Had to Be You by Georgia Clark. This is pitched as perfect for fans of Christina Lauren or Casey McQuiston, which me, I'm here for it. And this is an adult romance, and it follows our main character Liv, who owns a wedding planning business with her friend Elliot, but her life kind of gets turned upside down when Elliot unexpectedly dies, and he leaves his other half of the business to his girlfriend Savannah. Savannah and Liz really butt heads at first. They are not compatible working partners, but as time goes on, they find out that they might actually be like a match made in heaven. This one looks like a very like cute contemporary kind of thing, but I definitely think it's going to deal with heavier topics. But hopefully at the end of the day, it's going to be a cute sapphic romance, because I'm here for that. Next card I drew is the Page of Wands. This is also a very positive card, and my prompt for this card is to read an inspirational book. Now, I think my like image when I was when I created this prompt was to have like a self-help inspirational book, but I don't have that in my TBR this month, and I really cannot be adding extra books to my TBR this month. So what I chose to read for this prompt is Thanks a Lot Universe by Chad Lucas, and this is a really cute middle grade, and I feel like these middle grades are usually pretty inspirational, so I think it'll work. But this book basically follows these two boys. One, Brian, he is a very anxious kid, and he actually ends up in foster care, and this really sets off his panic attacks, and he's really having trouble coping with this. And then we are also following Ezra. Ezra is like a pretty popular boy. He's friends with pretty much everyone, including Brian, and Ezra really wants to help Brian out and be there for him, but he's also kind of worried about what his friends will think of him, especially because Ezra kind of has a crush on Brian. So I'm hoping this will be a really cute kind of queer friendship book, and that's always inspiring to me. It inspires me and reminds me that there are nice, kind people in the world, and that we have hope for our next generation, you know? It fits. This is my game anyway, leave me alone. Next card I drew was the Queen of Swords, and the prompt for this card is to read a book with a beautiful cover. And I think the book with the most beautiful cover on my TBR this month is The Ones We're Meant to Find by Joan Hay. This is a YA sci-fi, and I know I've explained it before on my channel, but even though I've written descriptions of it, summaries of it, I really do not understand what the heck is it about. The description just makes absolutely no sense to me, but it sounds really good, and I've heard really good things. I think my friend Annie recently read this book and just raved about it, so I'm very excited to pick it up, and I think it sounds amazing. And then the final card I drew was the King of Swords, and the prompt for this card is to read a book featuring royalty. And for that, I'm going to be reading In Deeper Waters by F.T. Lukens. This has been on a lot of TBRs, I know. Hopefully I finally read it this month. Basically, this book follows our main character, Prince Tal, and Prince Tal has to rely on a stranger when he gets kidnapped during his coming of age tour. This definitely has like Gentleman's Guide vibes, and it's a gay historical romance, so yes please, give it to me now. Alright, so those are my 6 books that I'm going to be reading for my Tarot TBR game, but then I have a ton of other books that I also want to read in the month of May, so let's just jump into those. First of all, I'm going to be attempting to participate in 3 different readathons. Alright, 2 of them are month-long readathons, so I'm just gonna kind of try and fit books as I go. I have some like planned out, but if they don't work, they don't work, and I'll try and fit something else in there. But then the other one is like a week-long readathon, so that one's a little bit more planned out, but we'll get into it. So the first readathon that's like the week-long readathon is the Peppathon, and it is hosted by my friends 𝗕cie, Haley, and Sarah, and this runs from May 3rd to May 9th, so I think it'll be already started by the time this video goes up, I think, because I'm a little behind in my video production here. Can you shut the fuck up? But basically, this is like a bingo board readathon. You can double up prompts for 1 book, so you can clear the board, or you can just get a bingo, whatever you want to do. I'm going to try and black out the board because I think I can do that with 3 books. So that's my reading plans for that week of the month. The first book I'm going to be trying to read is Little Women by Louisa May Alcott. This has also been on multiple TBRs, but hopefully this month is the month I'm going to do it. This book basically follows the March sisters as they navigate life. It's not really about any one thing, I don't think, but it is a classic, and I'm very excited to read it. I loved the recent movie, so I think I'm gonna like it. The bingo board's like memes, but I'm just gonna run through the prompts. So basically, I'm gonna count Little Women for the big, thick book prompt, because it's like 700 pages. I'm also going to count it as historical fiction / backlist because it's definitely a backlist. It's a classic book, you know. I'm also going to count it for the popular book trope because, again, classic, everybody loves it. Is there like a monster truck around here? Like, what the fuck is happening? And then I'm also going to count it for like the book you've DNF'd / a reread. And I haven't DNF'd it, but I did start it quite a while ago and just never kept going. So that one's a little bit of a stretch, but I'm gonna make it count. And then I'm also going to be reading Ace of Spades, which I already talked about in my Tarot TBR. That one is going to count for a savage main character. I'm gonna use that as like the Gossip Girl-esque character that's in that book. A fast-paced book. This is a YA thriller, so I'd assume it'd be kind of fast-paced. I'm also going to count it for like horror elements. Again, it's a thriller. Not sure how many horror elements will be in it. I'm gonna be reading other books with horror elements though, so if I need to, I'll switch something out for this one, but I feel like Ace of Spades probably does have some horror-esque elements in it. And then finally, I'm going to be reading Cool for the Summer by Delia Adler. This book follows our main character who thinks she like has her life all together. She has the boyfriend she's always wanted. She's doing well in school. It's her senior year. She's going to graduate and go to college. Then she meets this other girl and she kind of has a crush on her as well. So I think it's like a bisexual love triangle, which I'm here for. I haven't read that before in a book, so I'm excited for that. And I'm going to count this as the trope you dislike because it's a love triangle and I typically don't love those, but I mean, they're okay. They can be done all right, but that's what's being counted for that. I'm also going to be counting it for like the mixed opinion / trashed on. I haven't seen anybody trash on this book, but it is the lowest rated book on my TBR for this month, so we're just gonna stick it in that slot as well. So that is the Peppathon. And then the 2-month-long readathons. The first one is May the Force Read With You. This is a Star Wars themed readathon hosted by my friends Eric, Noelle, Steph, and Max. And this is the whole month, so it starts on May 1st and ends on May 31st. And basically it's like a choose your own adventure style readathon. You can choose to be like on the light side, the dark side, or like a neutral side. I don't know anything about Star Wars. But I'm participating anyway. I wanted to do the dark side, but I didn't. There was like one prompt that I just had absolutely no book to put in it, so I ended up switching to the light side. And then basically you have to like complete all of the light side or dark side prompts before you can move on to like the secondary prompts where you like earn companions. Again, know nothing about Star Wars, but that's the gist of the readathon. So like I said, I'm going to be on the light side. In this readathon, you can't double up like one book for multiple prompts. It has to be like one book per prompt, which I'm planning to read 28 books, so I should be fine. So the first prompt on the light side is Jedi Council, and that is to read a sequel or like a book in a series. And for that, I'm going to be reading The Wicked King by Holly Black. This is the second book in the, I don't know what it's called, Folk of the Air trilogy, I think. Basically, it is about our main character, Jude. Jude is a human, but she lives in the fairy realm, and she has this like rivalry with this kid named Carden. He's like the prince. I don't know. I need to brush up on, this is the second book in the series. I've read The Cruel Prince, but it was like a year ago. I'm going to read like the wiki summary, I think, of it. Just to get caught up. But basically there's like this huge twist at the end of The Cruel Prince that was just insane and wild, so I'm excited to pick up the second one. And I'm reading this for the Cruel Prince read-along that is hosted by my friends Christine and Nicole at Bonbon Reads. I'll link the Discord and stuff in the description down below. I didn't reread The Cruel Prince with them last month, but I'm gonna like read the second two. That's the plan on that one, and that counts for that challenge. And then the next challenge on the light side is Force Spirit, and that is a book with paranormal elements. And for that, I'm going to be reading The Year of the Witching by Alexis Henderson. This is a buddy read with my girl Savannah over at Riveting Reads. I'm very excited to pick this book up with her. I'm not exactly sure what this book is about. I think it is like a paranormal thriller set in like Salem during like the witch trial era, and it follows our main character. She's like a very devout Christian, but then she finds out that her mother who has passed was actually involved with the witches of Salem or something, and I think it's like a feminist. She like, I don't really know. It sounds really cool. Books and Lala loved it, so that's why I want to read it. Next prompt on the light side is healing, and that is to read your favorite genre. And for that, I'm going to be reading Yoke by Mary H.K. Choi. My favorite genre, I think I would say, is like queer, hard-hitting YA contemporary, which is exactly what this is, I believe. I honestly don't really know what much else this is about, but I've heard like nothing but good things from all of my friends that I trust, so I'm very excited to pick this one up, and I think I will love it. Next prompt is knowledge, and this is the oldest book on your shelf, and for that I'm going to be reading Little Women by Louisa May Alcott. I think it's probably one of the books I've owned the longest that's on my TBR, but it's also like technically the oldest because it's been published a long time ago, like in the 1800s, so that counts for that. And then for cleansed, the prompt is a white cover, and for that I'm going to be reading Hood Feminism by Mickey Kendall. This is kind of like a cream cover, but I think it counts well enough. I'm reading this for the Nonfiction Baddies book club hosted by my friends Casey and Mafalda. This is their May-June pick, I believe, so I am excited to read this along with them. I think it's a really good introduction to intersectional feminism. That is what I've heard, and making sure that your feminism includes includes diverse voices, sticks up for Black women, trans women, other women of color, and isn't just focused on white feminism. And then the two companion challenges for the light side prompts. First one is Rebel Alliance, read a book with a rebellion in it. And for that, I'm going to be reading The Empress of Salt and Fortune. But basically, this is a very short fantasy style book. I'm not quite sure what it is about. Usually I have my descriptions on lock, but there's just too many books and I just don't remember what this one is about. But I'm very excited to read it. I've heard nothing but good things and I think I will like it. Alright, and those are all the books that I'm planning to read for the May the Force Read With You readathon. I'm very excited for that. I think it's going to be a lot of fun. All the descriptions for all readathons, readalongs, book clubs I'm talking about will be in the description down below. The next readathon I definitely want to participate in is the Asian Readathon that is hosted by Cindy Pham over at With Cindy, previously Read With Cindy. I think everybody knows who Cindy is. I don't know why I'm explaining that to you, but anyway, this is also another month-long readathon. It takes place from May 1st to May 31st, and it is a celebration of Asian American Pacific Islander Heritage Month. So there are 5 prompts for this readathon, and basically you can double up prompts for one book, but for each book you choose, it has to be, the author has to be from a different Asian ethnicity. So it's just to inspire reading diversely even within Asian authors. So I have picked out 3 books to read for this. I'm going to be reading a couple more books by Asian authors this month, but they weren't differing Asian ethnicities. So, but I did find 3 that fit all 5 prompts that were differing Asian ethnicities. I think you understand. You get it? Okay. So for the challenge to read a book by an Asian author, to read a book with an Asian protagonist, and to read your favorite genre by an Asian author, I think I'm going to use 𝗖𝗵 by 𝗵𝗂𝗽 𝗏. I already talked about what this book is about a little bit, but I'm very excited to pick it up. And I believe 𝗵𝗂𝗽 𝗏 is of Korean descent, so that's cool. And I have read her before as an author, so I really like her work. So I'm very excited to pick up 𝗖𝗵. I really think I'll love it. And then for the prompt, a nonfiction by an Asian author, I'm going to be reading Know My Name by Chanel Miller. This follows Chanel Miller's story, and I think most of us kind of know that story. It is very emotional, traumatic, because he pretty much got off scot-free, and it's just absolutely disgusting. But Chanel Miller is of Chinese descent. She has a Chinese mother, I believe. So, and I've always just wanted to read that story. I've heard nothing but good things from everyone, and I don't know why I wouldn't love it. And then for the prompt, a non-centric set book by an Asian author, I'm going to read The Empress of Salt and Fortune, and I believe the author of this one is of Vietnamese descent. So yeah, I'm very excited to pick up all of those books. I think I will love them, and I definitely am going to try and read a couple more Asian authors as well. Those are the 3 readathons I'm going to be participating in, and all of the books that I'm going to match to those challenges. But I have a couple other books that I'm going to read as well. First, I'm just going to talk through the book clubs I'm going to be participating in. I already mentioned that I'm going to be reading Hood Feminism by Mickey Kendall for the Nonfiction Baddies book club, so that is one book club I'm participating in for sure. I also am participating in the Down Memory Jane book club, and I am definitely behind on those reads, so I need to read Sense and Sensibility still by Jane Austen for March. I also need to read 𝗖liche at Last by 𝗬𝗓 Jalaluddin for April, as well as Persuasion, which is the May pick. I have already read Persuasion before, so I'm not sure I'm going to pick that one up again. I might just wiki summary it, but I definitely need to catch up and read Sense and Sensibility and 𝗖liche at Last. And I talked about those in my TBR last month, so if you want more information on them, you can check that out. Also, the Cruel Prince read-along, I've already mentioned that. We're reading The Wicked King by Holly Black this month. The Literally Dead book club, hosted by Books and Lala, I'm going to be reading with them this month. They Never Learn by Elaine Fargo. It is so funny because Caroline texted me about this book the other day. She was like, have you read this book? Because I think you'd love it. It's literally about killing men. And I was like, Caroline, you know me so well. When she texted me that and I realized what this book was about, I was like, I have to read that with them. So I'm very excited about that. I don't really know a lot what it's about other than that. I think we're following an English college professor or something. And then from the information that Caroline gave me, it sounds like it'll be right up my alley. So I'm very excited to pick that one up as well. And then of course the Sugar and Spice book club pick, their pick for May is The People We Meet on Vacation by Emily Henry. This is another book. I think it's about 2 authors. Our female main character is a travel vacation writer, which I think is really cool. I'm really excited. And she has a best friend. I think he is also a writer, but I might be wrong. I might just be thinking of beach read. But basically she books them a vacation to Hawaii, I think. And they kind of rekindle their friendship because I think they're had a falling out or something. But she needs someone maybe to go to this trip because she has to write about it. I don't know. I don't really know what it's about, but I'm excited to read it. And then I also mentioned that I am trying my hardest to participate in the 𝗖𝗍along with Noelle. I think they moved their live show for the toll. I think it'll probably be after this video goes up anyway. No, I don't know. But I'm gonna try and finish Thunderhead this month by Neil Shusterman, also read The Toll. This is basically a YA dystopian series set in a world where we have eradicated death. So there are these people called 𝗖 that go around calling the population to keep the population from like exploding and being the earth from being overpopulated, you know? So I need to finish the second book in that series and read the third at some point. Okay, we're almost done. I'm gonna talk about a couple books that are like miscellaneous that I also want to try to get to in May. There's somebody riding by on a lawnmower. Like he's literally driving down the street on a lawnmower. Why? The fuck? Alright, me and Savannah from Riveting Reads are also doing another buddy read, and that is of The Butterfly Garden by Dot Hutchinson. I think this one is about this man who kidnaps girls and keeps them in this garden, and he like tattoos a butterfly on their back or something, and he calls them his butterflies. Sounds really creepy and weird, but I like that kind of a thriller, so I'm very excited to pick this one up. Also, Savannah very kindly gifted me this one. She didn't have to do that, but thank you, Savannah. You're the best. I also still need to read The Infinite Noise by Lauren Shippen. This is a YA fantasy kind of book, and it is about this main character, and he has heightened abilities, and his heightened ability is that he like has extra empathy for people, and that he like just really very strongly feels the emotions of everyone else around him. But then I think he meets somebody who he really connects with, and it kind of helps him quiet the voices in his head, maybe. And I think it's like a male romance, queer romance kind of deal going on. It sounds really good. I also am almost done with The Good Daughter by Karen Slaughter. This is a legal thriller, and it involves these two sisters. Their mother was like brutally murdered in front of them, and it has just like left them traumatized for life. But then flash forward 30 or so years, and there is this school shooting. Both of the girls, along with their father, are lawyers, and so they actually end up representing, well, their dad is representing this girl that committed this school shooting, and I think there's more to the story, and she might actually be innocent. There might be some other perpetrators or things going on. It is really good so far. I don't think I like it as much as Pretty Girls just because it's a little bit slower, but I am really enjoying it, and enjoying it is a weird word because of the content matter, but it's very well done so far, and I am very excited to finish it up this month. And then, like I mentioned earlier, I really want to try to get through my NetGalley backlist a lot this month. That is one of my big focuses. So I have a couple more books that I want to get to this month. The first is Everyone Dies Famous in a Small Town by Bonnie Sue Hitchcock. I believe this is like a compilation of short stories of a bunch of different characters that are all interconnected throughout Alaska and the Pacific Northwest of the United States. I really like Bonnie Sue Hitchcock's writing, so I'm excited to pick this one up. I loved The Smell of Other People's Houses by her, so I think this one will be good as well. I also want to pick up May the Best Man Win by Z.R. Eller. This is a book following a trans main character, and he is like student body president, was also captain of the cheer team, and really wants to prove himself, so he enters the race for homecoming king, and his competitor is his ex-boyfriend, and so they have like a very big rivalry going on, but they might still like each other, so I think it's a little bit of a romance as well. I also want to get to She Drives Me Crazy by Kelly Quinlan. This is a enemies to fake dating to lovers sapphic high school YA romance, so I think this is going to be amazing and so good. I'm very excited for this one. I also want to pick up The Sea is Salt and So Am I by Cassandra Hart. I believe that this is like a magical realism story, and it takes place on this like seaside New England town, and they're hit by a hurricane, and it follows these three different characters who it all affects their lives very different ways. I don't really know how to explain this one either, but it sounds really good and kind of right up my alley. I really like lyrical, beautiful writing and stuff like that, and I feel like that's what this book is going to be, so I'm excited for this one. And finally, I still need to finish Lost in the Neverwoods by Aidan Thomas, and this is a like modern day Peter Pan retelling, and so far it is really good. I'm like 40% of the way through. I'm almost done. I am not almost done. I'm like halfway done, and I am very much enjoying my time. I just need to finish it. I just have been like having a poor mental health recently, so I'm just praying that May is better. Well, I'm not praying because I'm not religious, but you know what I mean. I said that colloquially, whatever. I need to shut up. I'm gonna go. Thank you for listening to my May TBR. Hopefully I didn't forget anything. I'm sure I probably did, and I'm gonna find out that I was supposed to be reading something else as well. but you know, it is what it is. So that is my mostly tentative TBR. Hopefully I will get to more of these than I think I'm going to be able to. Sorry, I was talking a mile a minute. I have things to do today. Thank you guys so much for watching. All relevant links will be in the description down below, so definitely check it out. There's always good stuff down there. Subscribe to this channel if you feel so inclined, and like this video if you liked it. It really helps me out. Follow me on Instagram and Twitter if you want to keep up with me on the day-to-day. And thank you again so much for watching this video and being here and always supporting me. I love you guys, and this is just like one of my favorite things to do. So thank you so much for supporting my channel. And yeah, that's enough sap for today. Thank you again, and I will see you in the next one. Bye.